Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel or welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, if you want 2 free stocks, Webull is going to give you 2 free stocks when you open a new Webull brokerage account, deposit at least 1 penny in that account. They're going to give you 2 free stocks valued up to $3,300. So after this video, I want you to go to the description box of the video and click on that Webull link and go get that free stock and go get that free money. Guys, I recently read an article, and actually the article was done by Duke University. The article was titled "The Black Wealth Gap in Modern America." And one of the things in that article that jumped out at me and got me to thinking was this particular piece of information. The typical Black household's wealth in 2019 was about $24,100. And for white households, it was $188,000. So that jumped out at me. I was like, wow, that's pretty massive gap between Black families and white families. Now, this video is not about pointing the finger at any race. I think all people can build wealth. Let me get that straight, because I don't want people in the comment section saying crazy stuff. No, I believe all people can build wealth, but I'm Black. And when I look at the wealth in this country, Black people are at the bottom of the totem pole. So that's what I want to talk about today to all people, specifically Black people, why I believe we're at the bottom of that totem pole. But before that, let me read one more piece of this article to kind of bring it all together for me before I go into my reason why I believe, or at least one of the reasons why I believe Black folks are at the bottom of that wealth totem pole. Goes on to say, the article, Black families are disproportionately shut out of access to opportunities that would improve generational wealth, such as home loans, business loans / business ownership, and financial assets. Because of the long history of these inequalities, Black wealth in America has improved little in the last 10 years. Now, I don't disagree with that opinion from the author, but I want to focus on one of the things that jumped out to me: financial assets. See, I think that's the key for all people building wealth, is their ability to take their income and buy assets, right? Now, how that plays into banks. See, when I was coming up, banks were looked at as, this is the place where I go put my money when I've worked hard for it, we've earned it, let's put it in the bank. That's the safest place for it, and that's how we're going to build our nest egg, and that's how we're going to build wealth. And that's how it was back in the day. But I think as I got older and I started earning income or earning this active income, I started understanding that was not necessarily true. See, when we think about a bank, especially with our money, we really should be thinking about it along these lines. I should have my emergency fund at the bank, which is 3 to 6 months of my expenses, right? My monthly expenses. So if my expenses are $2,000 a month, at minimum, I should have $6,000 in my emergency fund, all the way up to 6 months, which is $12,000 in my emergency fund. Now, that money should be left in the bank, right? Also, if you have money earmarked for a short-term goal, for instance, if I want to buy a house and I'm saving my money so that I can have a down payment to buy my house within a year or within 2 years, then I would agree that money should be left in the bank because you want it safe, you want it protected, and you don't want to be in a situation when it's time for you to buy that house, that money has decreased in value because it's in the market. When we know the market is up and down, right? Over long term, though, we know the market or the stock market is a good place to put our money, what history tells us, right? But for the short term, if we got that money earmarked for something, yeah, we leave it in a savings account. So those are the two reasons I would tell folks to leave money in a savings account. Outside of that, we should be taking that money and doing what? Buying financial assets. And that's what I'm saying for Black folks. You know, we got to get in the position where we are buying financial assets and we're not buying liabilities, right? I'm not saying all Black people buy liabilities, but guys, let's face it. The harsh reality is we're at the bottom of the financial totem pole. We hold the least wealth in the United States out of all races. Black folks hold the least amount of wealth. Now, again, like the article talked about, there are reasons for that. There are some historical things that happen to Black folks, and there are some things that are still happening to Black folks. But what we got to understand is those things are going to continue to happen. Why? Because that's just the way the world is. We got to understand we're a minority in the United States. We're not the majority. Plus, we hold very little of the wealth. When you look at the top Fortune 500 companies in America, you can probably count on one hand of those 500 companies that have Black CEOs, right? When we think about some of the most profitable privately held companies in America, very few of those companies are owned by Black folks. So what I'm telling you is the majority in this country controls the majority of the wealth. We're the minority and we're controlling a small amount of the wealth. But we can change that, right? See, we got to stop using these banks as our safe haven. And we got to start getting comfortable with taking that money out of the bank, that excess money out of the bank, and putting it in assets. Assets like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, index funds, right? Crypto. We got to start using paper assets to be able to build our wealth. We got to also get comfortable with buying real estate, income producing real estate in good areas that are going to grow and increase in value, give us immediate cash flow, and also give us long-term capital appreciation on our investment. We got to do that and stop spending money on liabilities like I mentioned. Now, Black folks ain't the only people that spend money on liabilities. But again, guys, I can only give you the numbers. We are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to wealth in this country, right? We can certainly look at all the reasons that this article has pointed out while we're there, but I tend to believe we can change that, right? One of the things is, hey, Black people make the least amount of money. And guys, I'm not going to argue that point. Perhaps that's true. I don't know if that's true or not. I do know we got the least amount of wealth, right? That's a proven fact. But I can remember when I was working in banking and I had non-Black counterparts, right? That were making more money than me. And I know they were making more money than me. But you know something? I didn't focus on that. What I focused on was the amount of money that I am making, I get the choice how I spend it. I can either spend it on buying liabilities and making somebody else wealthy, or I can invest it in financial assets that will make me wealthy. And that's what I decided. So no matter what these guys were making, I focused on being the best banker I could be so that I could make the most amount of money that I could make And then I would take that money and I would buy financial assets. And I did that year after year till it got to the point where my assets generated enough passive income to replace the income I was making at the bank. And that's when I took control of my financial destiny. See, your financial destiny is controlled by whoever you get paid from. If you get paid from yourself through assets generating passive income, then there you go. You control your financial destiny. If someone else is paying you, they control your financial destiny. So for us to get ourselves from the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to the wealth distribution in this country, we got to start being better and more fiscally responsible with the money that we do make. And we know how to make money. I think a good portion of us have a problem with how to multiply that money. And you keeping it at the bank and thinking that's going to multiply it, it's not. We got to stop being afraid, right? We got to get our financial literacy together, which we are doing very well at. And that's the reason why I have this channel, is so that I can help people do that. Well, guys, that's just my opinion. Like I said, this article by Duke University dated October 14th, 2021. I'm going to link it down below so you can go check it out. I don't disagree with some of the points they made in there. I'm more focused, though, on the present and the future, right? I'm more focused on helping our folks learn about finances, helping our folks get past the fear of investing in financial assets and understanding how those financial assets over time can build wealth for them. That's what I'm more interested in, correct? I'll never forget my history and our history as Black people. We have not been treated fairly in this country. But here we are, guys. I still believe it's the greatest country in the world. We just got to figure out how do we get ourselves to the point where we can participate in this wealth distribution, right? We got to start participating in that. And I think we control that. We got to take our money, invest in financial assets. Don't put it in the bank, right? Do not put your excess cash in the bank. You got to start putting it in assets that are going to multiply that money for you and create financial freedom at some point. Well, drop me some comments, guys. Let me know what you think. Again, this is not about singling out white people. It's not about that. What it is about is for Black folks to take ownership of our financial destiny. And the only way we can do that is if we create assets that create passive income. If you haven't gotten those free stocks from Webull, link down in the description box, and they're going to give you 2 free stocks valued up to $3,300. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. And I'm going to catch you on the next video. Peace. Today's video is sponsored by my company, RF Financial Consulting. And in my company, I work with individuals just like you through financial mentoring and coaching sessions. And in those 1-hour sessions, we talk about strategies to help you get to your financial freedom, whether it be through real estate investing, stock market investing, creating additional streams of income, credit card arbitrage, or starting and growing a business. If that's something that you might be interested in, there's an email address in the description box of the video. Send me an email and let's discuss if I'm the right fit for you.